Bitch, fuck. I like that I got wasted off my ass in less than like 10, 20 minutes. Let's just say your girl decided, you know what would be good on a Thursday at 3:36 p.m. Or actually, it was more like 3 p.m. when I. Anyway, a straw bango and two Sunahores. I got yogurt and I got peach. I'm bored. Let's talk shit about my lineage. So, let's start with what we know. Let's see. Who's the first person we can think of when we think of Timidi's lineage? That's right, it's Timidi. Look, let's draw Timidi. Here's me. Fuck. Okay. How do I draw myself? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Alright. Yeah! We got that shit. Okay, how do I draw my hair? I don't have a consistent hairstyle. Let's just give myself a head wrap. Because what? Yeah, that works. That works. All right. So I descended from two stupid ass motherfuckers. I was conceived despite a restraining order because people are fucking dumb and they decide to fuck when they shouldn't. Like, bitch, you went through all the effort of a restraining order and the courts and the system, and you're just like, yeah. Let's give him penis. But you know what? I remember I thought my dad was mid my entire fucking life because it's like I just saw him as like, okay, this is that one fat nigga. Or not fat. He was like sloppy though. He was sloppy. I just thought this is the sloppy nigga with the big poofy fucking stupid ass hair. Blown out fucking shitty ass sweated out Cat Williams ass hair. Like, you know how Ludacris had his hair where it was like blown out, where it's like not straight? Or it's straight but it's puffy? Yeah, like that. And I just was like, this is the nigga who's always asleep in his bedroom and never talks to me. I suppose this is the man who created my existence with his stupid ass. Why is he here? And he was always quiet. And he would just lay there in his bedroom, sloppy as fuck, on his bed in his boxers. Hair messy as fuck. Next to all the Marvel and, movies and DC movies and fucking Xbox and shit. Whatever. He wasn't like, I'll put it this way, he could have done a lot better. We know how life, I'm not gonna get too depressing today, but we know how my life could have been if he was a better dad. But it's okay. I have mostly mommy issues, so that's why we don't talk about my dad much, because it's like there's not even much to say. He was just some stupid slut. Anyway, let's draw my dad. Let's see. He also has the dead eye look. So let's. I'm a much better artist than this. But it's like, here we go. Straight faced ass and bitch ass nigga. And he's dark skinned. Hell yeah. And let's give big fucking. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You know what? I got his hair gene. My mom always said that whenever she saw me after, like, she said the things I got from my dad was that I sleep so fucking much, which is true. Like, if someone's like, let's meet at 1 p.m., I'm like, that's so fucking early. And she said I get his big poofy hair genes, which I do. She would just see me, and I usually styled my hair the same way. Like that, like, natural straight look where it's like afro hair that just got straightened with a blowout, but kind of sweated out, and I would just wake up that way like a little cotton poof balls, and I got his hair genetics. Thank God. God bless that he has a good hairline. Amen. But she would always, whenever she would see me wake up in the morning, fucked up, you just like, you know, hair messy but big and poofy, sleepy as hell, she'd be like, you're just like your damn daddy. And that was always a cute little wholesome moment, like, oh, okay, good to know I didn't just get the autism from him, but I'm pretty sure I also got autism from her. So let's draw her. Oh, but as I was saying, I thought my dad was mid my whole life until eventually I saw like a picture of him when he was young. And I'm not gonna, like, you know, I'm not gonna say anything. I'll just say it's like, you know, I saw the photo and I was like, oh, okay. I see what we're working with now. I see why you let him violate a restraining order and fully wanted to get that dick one last time. I see why. Who the fuck is calling me? 1 second. Decline. Who the fuck is calling me? 1 second. Oh, it was just a volunteer service. That's good. I gotta. Anyway. Yeah, let's talk. So, my dad wasn't always ugly. Before, like, you know, back then he was a fine, tall, dark-skinned man. Like, 6 foot something. Tall, broad shoulders, strong jawline, nice nose, nice eyes. He had. How do I say this nicely? I don't have to say it nicely. I don't talk to these people. He had slut face. That's such a fucked bitch. That's the slut face. Really? That's the best way you can describe your fucking dad? I don't know. He's the type of man you'd look at and be like, I know you got bitches. Like, you know, despite the autism, it's like he got bitches. You know, bitch ass nigga. But you know what? He had a pretty face. He always got cheated on, though. My mom told me. And my mom just tells me shit. She tells me shit. She's just one of those ladies. She likes to yap for no fucking reason. So she would tell me that some lore from my dad is that my dad used to get cheated on a lot. I have no idea why. He just, maybe it's in our bloodline that we are all cursed to deal with stupid ass motherfuckers, and he passed that down to me. Fuck you, nigga. But it's okay. No, it's not. Ah, shit. It's clearly not okay because I'm tipsy before it's even 3:40. I mean, before it's even 3:45 p.m. Whatever. But anyway, as I was saying, he got cheated on a bunch. He and my mom, let's see, my mom was like a sophomore going into junior year, I think, when she met my dad. And my dad just graduated high school, and it was at a party, and she was a very popular girl. And she always clarified to me, it's like, no grooming happened, nothing sexual happened. He was just like a quiet dude. And we just had always talked, and we had a lot in common because of how fucked up our upbringings were. And so, you know, my mom, she's yaps. She's like, oh my God, can you believe that Tisha did to Natasha? And my dad would be like, mm-hmm. And so he would like happily listen to her yap. And what's so funny is that I notice that when I date people, they tend to be the quiet types too. Because I love to talk. It's like, hell yeah, you're going to listen to me talk for 3 hours, bitch. But it's like, that's my favorite type of person. They're great. I get along very well with autistic people. I wouldn't be shocked if my mom is autistic. But anyway, as I was saying, my dad got cheated on a bunch. My mom told me this because, I don't know, my mom likes to tell me shit. And she told me, she was like, your dad got cheated on a bunch. So one of the worst stories about my dad is that once he came home early from work to greet his girlfriend. And as he was going down on her, on his beautiful, lovely girlfriend who he loved so much, a condom fell out of her pussy. A used condom, full of semen that was definitely not his. Now, I'll put it this way. If I were my dad, I would have killed that bitch immediately and buried her 6 feet under on the side of a fucking highway somewhere. But you know what? My dad decided to be a good person and he left her. But then afterwards, he dated someone else. And the next girl, like, was just like, yeah, I'll be faithful. Yeah, I'll be monogamous, da-da-da-da. But then my dad had suspicion, so he went to her house to be like, you know, just one day he was like, he had suspicion. So he went to her house and drove past one day and he saw a car parked in her driveway that should not have been there. And it wasn't hers. And it looked like it was like a nigga, like a dude type car. So he hopped on out, knocked on the door. Guess what? She opened the door in a robe and there was a nigga in the background, naked as fuck. So it's like, so by the time he actually, like, he and my mom were best friends for ages. And what's sad is that she has always been sad about the fact that their friendship got ruined after they started dating. Like, she always, deep down, she misses that they used to be such good friends. Which is so sad to think about, and I understand that. He did eventually, you know, one day, like, later in life, after she had her first few kids and shit, which I'll probably bring up later, obviously, because I'm not an only child. I'm on, like, or at least on one side of the family, I'm an only child. On the other hand, there's a bunch of other people. Let's just say, what do I want to talk about? She's a very beautiful, very popular woman. It's not hard. Like, imagine it's the fucking 90s, and you're a big titty, huge, like, double, triple D cup, green-eyed, light-skinned woman, super social, super friendly. You got your perm and everything. You got your relaxers, all, like, you know, like, nice lips, nice, like, everything. Like, she looks good. She looks good. She had that Lauren London type shit going on. So it's like, people would come up to her. And after high school, even though she didn't really, like, you know, she didn't really fuck with people after high school. She told me this. She told me that she was like, hey. Like, okay, sorry, I'm a little drunk, but I'm sure you knew that. Fuck, sorry. So what happened was, my mom would be greeted by a bunch of people, including men. because she was extremely popular in high school. Everyone loved her. So sometimes it would be a man being like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And she'd be like, "Oh, hey," and she'd go in for like a little side hug, and then next thing you know, my bitch ass daddy would like yank her arm hella hard, like, "Fuck you doing that shit for?" And he was always paranoid that she was gonna cheat on him. She was never gonna do that. She like never. And then he just got weird and obsessive, and it didn't help that she has anger issues. Funny enough, once my dad told me of an instance, I forget when this was, but you know what? I'll share it with you because I'm in a good mood today. Once my mom hit my dad when she was angry in an argument, because of course she has a fucking temperament and loves to hit people. Why do you think I don't talk to this stupid whore anymore? And it's like, oh my god, this story's so fun to me. So she hit my dad when she was angry in an argument and feeling emotionally maladjusted, and she didn't know how to communicate that. So I remembered that word for word in a car ride with me one day, like a few years back. He told me, he was like, "Oh, I had to teach her not to hit people, so I hit her ass back." And she started crying, and then her grandmother pulled out a gun, and then he just told me, like, "Your granny pulled a gun on me and said, 'Don't you hit her ever again.'" And so she almost shot me. And it's like, they had obviously a toxic ass relationship. It got so toxic to the point that even when they separated, and mind you, my mom had 2 kids at this point and was in her, like, still her early 20s. She was still quite, like, scarily young. Like, it's so scary to think about how young she was when she had kids, honestly, which is why I'm happy to wait until I'm old as fuck to have kids. I'm not trying to make the same mistakes. No, thank you. God bless. Amen. But as I was saying, so, what was I saying? I'm sorry. My dad started stalking my mom after they broke up because he couldn't let her go. Mind you, it's like, beautiful ass woman, psychotic, tiny, evil. Yeah, of course you wouldn't let someone like that go ever in your life. So what happened was, she would eventually try to go on dates with men, and she'd tell people like, "Hey, just so you know, my baby daddy crazy. He's a nut job. I don't think you should go on a date with me." And niggas would be like, "Hell, it's cool. I don't give a fuck about no nigga." What's a weak ass, punk ass bitch gonna do? Because, you know, men have their egos and shit. And then guess what? Whenever at the end of a date she would get dropped off, niggas would see like a 6'3" tall ass, dark skinned black man pop out like, "What the fuck you doing with my bitch, cuz?" Yelling at the top of their lungs. And then, like, the niggas would obviously flee in fucking terror, because it's like, this nigga would have his murder stare, willing to rip you in fucking half for messing with his little pale queen. Little pale queen. And so then she'd have to be like, "God damn it, stop scaring off my niggas." And he was still and he was crazy. Even if, like, she were home alone and ignoring his excessive ass phone calls and all that shit back in the day, this nigga at some point, I remember she mentioned that he broke the windows. Like, he threw a brick and was punching out windows to their apartments, to the apartment she lived in with my older brother and sister when they were kids, which is really fucked up. It's like, bruh, get it together. Come on now. But, you know, he probably knew that she was like awesome. So, you know, she was still awesome in her psychotic ass way. Anyway, let's see. What other tea do I want to share? Oh, let's go on. Fuck it. I'll go in the direction of my mom's side first, because I feel like that's where the most interesting shit lies. So let's see. Family tree. Let's go. So, let's start with my grandmother. My grandmother is about my same skin color. I'm just using the yellow marker because fuck it. And my grandmother was a psychotic whore. And did crack. She did so much damage to our lineage with the stupid shit she decided to do with her fucking dumb ass. But you know what? I've talked to my grandmother on this side before, and I sympathize with certain things. So from what I recall, from a young age, you know, I don't remember much. I think she had a pretty okay life until her dad started cheating on her mom. And this affected my grandmother, because my grandmother obviously is like, yeah, imagine you have a man in your life who you love and cherish, who cherishes you as a daughter, and then next thing you know, you see that he's cheating on your mother. And mind you, my grandmother's mother had a lot of fucking issues. Hella fucking issues. Like, mental, like, you know, something that my grandmother was especially pissed about was the fact that my great-grandmother, fuck it, let's draw her too. Okay. I don't remember how she looks like. Let's just do this as a placeholder. So, This is great grandmother. And I should add names. Should I add names? I'll make up names for anonymity's sake. What should we call my grandmother? Let's call her Maya. Okay. Fake ass name, but fuck it. So, my grandmother Maya. Crack bitch. Stupid whore. I hate her. Fuck her. Fuck her. Fuck her. And if you're like, why are you saying fuck her? It's because I had to physically fight this bitch at some point. But don't worry. At this point, picture that you're Maya. You're a girl who was born in the 50s. Like, mind you, my grandmother was more of a tomboy. So, you know, she hated the whole, oh, it's the 50s and the 60s. I have to, you know, you can't play on the play structure when you have to wear a big poofy dress and boys can see up your skirt. And everything was all about boys, boys, boys. What if she didn't even like niggas like that? And she hated traditional roles. I remember she mentioned she was more of a tomboy. And that was her thing. And she had a few other siblings who were allegedly stuck-up bitches. I don't know if I feel like drawing them, because personally I don't like them that much either now that I'm an adult. But I will say this, my grandmother Maya did substances later in life, but we can talk about that later. Something that I think physically changed my grandmother was that when she was 16, she was an extremely good athlete. Mind you, she was a very tall woman. She, I think, was like 6'2", big ass lady. Big ass woman. But my great grandmother, when my grandmother had the opportunity when she was 16, she was reached out with an opportunity. They were like, we can put you on a women's basketball team in China. You can make a lot of money. You can get big because you have a lot of talent playing basketball. My great grandmother was like, no, we don't trust them. We don't know what can happen to you. Da 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 da. And also, she was more of a traditionalist, from what I can at least recall. So that fucked up my grandmother hard. And I think that is kind of a turning point to when my grandmother kind of started being more the way she is now. More selfish, more indecent. My grandmother was a fucking cunt. So I'll put it this way. If you're like, Tamia, you're being really mean to your grandmother. Yeah, it's because my grandmother was not nice to my mom. So, also, let's see. She also told me that, okay, let's draw my papa. Papa, what color marker should I use for my papa? Papa. So, allegedly, papa came from money. I'm very drunk. This is not how I draw. Let's draw Papa. Papa. God bless Papa. He's a very cool dude, from my opinion. Alright, so let's say this is Papa. Papa came from money. He had allegedly very wealthy family. All sorts of... I fucked up drawing him. Oh my god. Let's just say he came from money. Dark-skinned gentleman came from money. And he was really into my grandmother back in the day, because you know she was a fly ass bitch. Like, she looks, if you're basically like, what did your grandmother look like to me? She looks like me but with bigger tits. No one man should have all that power. God bless. Fuck, I fucked up. So let's speed this along. So Papa came from money. And my grandmother was like, ooh, fuck this nigga, because he's short. But you know what? He has money. He has influence, and he can give me whatever I want. But she's told me plenty of times, she was like, I hate this nigga. He is, like, he's short. He's like, I think she said something not so great about his skin color, but it's like, I don't know. Like, don't quote me on that. Like, she's also a stupid fucking whore, so don't, like, fuck her. But she basically was like, fuck this short nigga, but I guess he has money. I could do something with him. And from what I recall, at least from what I remember, from what my mom and grandma told me, his family didn't like Maya. Who gives a fuck? Let's call her Maya for now. Fuck it. His family did not like Maya, because fuck Maya. Maya was a cunt. But you know what? And Maya was a cunt. Maya was the type of person where if a homeless man stood too close and asked for a piece of her sandwich, and she felt like he breathed on it, she would throw the entire sandwich on the ground and say, fuck you, eat it off the floor, bitch. Like, she was not a nice lady. But she had huge fucking cannons, beautiful blonde skin, nice eyes and all that. So he was like, you know what, I could pop some babies out with her, and he popped out a lot of babies. Ooh, do I want to talk about all the other people in my lineage? I don't think so, because I think my uncle and my aunt both follow this page, and I don't want to see them just have them getting angry. I could talk about it. Could I? It's been several decades. I could talk about it. But let's just say, fuck my grandmother. She is an evil, evil cunt. Evil devil woman. Devil woman. Devil woman. Now, if you're like, what's, like, this is some shit she did that fucked up my mother. So, when my mother was a small, wee little child, like less than 4, also, I'm sure you probably could have guessed this because I mentioned all the tomboy shit and how she barely even likes my grandfather. Like, I get it. If you're possibly a lesbian, you would go for a nigga who has money, regardless of how he looks like. So, plot twist, my grandmother Maya was a fucking gay. She was gay. She was gay, and that's okay. You could be gay. Homosexuality, we love that. But did she love it? No. She was like, fuck the gays. She has said some of the most homophobic shit I have ever heard, but funny enough, according to my mom, she would spend like whenever my granddad went to work, she would go to the fucking hot ass lesbian neighbor next door and do all sorts of heroin. I don't know if they did Quaaludes, but it was like heroin, meth, crack, coke, and she would just have a crazy ass drug binge and be scissoring it up with the next door neighbor. And it's like, fuck you, stupid ass. It's like, bitch. And mind you, my mother was a beautiful little girl who didn't deserve that pain. And my stupid ass grandmother, she was like, she's probably gonna snitch to her daddy. I need to keep her quiet. So my grandmother literally had a fucking, from what I recall, it was a huge ass Doberman. Or some sort of pit, I think it was a Doberman. Huge ass, obnoxiously aggressive dog. And she would tie it to a chain. And like a chain that was loose to a huge spike. And then she'd be like, she would stick it on my mother's window to her childhood bedroom. So my mother, mind you, it's like less than a 4-year-old girl. This breaks my heart to think about. A fucking child had to sit there. And like, imagine you're a little girl sitting in your fucking childhood bedroom and you think to yourself, it's like, oh, I could leave the bedroom to go to the bathroom. Or I could leave the bedroom to reach the phone and tell my dad that my mom is cheating. But there's a huge ass fucking dog that's barking through the window aggressively, and if you even move a single inch, that dog's gonna fucking... And my grandmother was especially fucked up because she would keep the windows cracked big enough where my mom thought the dog could crawl in. So imagine you're a fucking small ass child and a dog that's like 2 times, 3 times your size is at your window watching you move a single step. And it paralyzed. So my mom just had to sit paralyzed in a fucking bedroom because of the stupid fucking cunt. Oh, I'm a beat your ass. Sorry. I hate this bitch so much. I'm so whore. Fuck you, whore. Fuck you, whore. Sorry, I'm very drunk. I hate this bitch. Fuck Maya. All my niggas hate Grandma Maya. She's a slut. She's a bitch. She's a fucking repressed homosexual. Nothing's wrong with being a repressed homosexual, but it is when you fucking torment 4-year-old children that didn't fucking deserve it. So my mom got traumatized because... yeah, it's like she had to hold in her bladder for hours and hours on end, not shitting, not pissing, not eating food, because the second she moved a single inch, a dog that was huge would bark at her and move in a way that would seem like she would jump, that the dog could physically jump through the window, break off the chain, and attack her and maul her. And my grandmother didn't give a shit. So frankly, fuck my grandmother. What's so sad is later in life, my mom fucking took in my grandmother, and I had to live with this bitch for several years. Like, let's say, like, from 16, 17 to age, like, 20. Maybe, like, I had to live with this whore. And I hate her. I remember one of the happiest days I had ever... My mom was... Once I had to beat my grandma's ass. And if you're like, what the fuck? Okay, so for context, let's just say my grandmother, when she lived with us, she was the type of bitch where she had diabetes but didn't want to change her lifestyle. So she would eat hella McRibs, hella candy, hella bullshit, and then simply take, like, down a whole bottle of diarrhea pills on purpose. And she would shit herself. And she never washed her hands, so her with her long yellow... little nasty ass talons you would call fingernails, she would walk around the house and leave dirty brown smears everywhere her fingers touched. She was a filthy bitch in every way you could think of, and my mom should have fucking known better. Like, Jesus Christ, if she needed the extra money, I would have fucking worked at McDonald's before I would have ever let that whore live with us. I'm just fucking saying. Stupid bitch. I don't like you either. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Fuck that bitch. But also fuck this bitch more, because she's the fucking devil. Anyway, let's just say one day, my grandmother got mad at me because my mom set a rule about, because, you know, this bitch kept stinking up the bathrooms and shitting on the toilet seats, like literally shit stains all over the seats where people sit, and she wouldn't wipe it up. And like and she would funk it up and close the windows before she left her turd mageddon all over the place. So eventually my mom set a rule, and she was like, I know my mom was still secretly subconsciously scared and felt obedient to her mom, so I don't judge her. But my mom was like, hey, new rule, we close the bathroom after we take a shit. My grandma didn't follow that rule. I gently, because I was also sick of that shit, and I was smelling it every day for fucking years. It's one simple thing: close the door. My grandma took that personally. Let's just say she grabbed me by the shirt, and let's just say I had to defend myself, because when an old stupid bitch grabs me by my shirt and tries to fling me into a wall with her old ass, I recognized, you know what, I can do better than you at fighting. So when she tried to grab me by a shirt and put her hands on me and fling me into a wall, I used my youth and vitality to flex on her ass. I flung her ass into the wall with me, and then flung her ass to the ground, and then she was embarrassed. And I remember my mom was so angry when she woke up in the middle of the night, learning that her fucking mom tried to put her hands on her baby girl, and that fucked her up. But it didn't matter, because my mom still kept her in the house anyway after promising to get her out. Stupid fucking bitch. If you would have gotten her out, I might have forgiven you for some sins, but it's okay, stupid bitch. Anyway, as I was saying, but aside from that, my mom did tell me, she was like, I'm so fucking happy you kind of low-key beat her. Like, I'm so happy that you got to, like, fling her to the ground and, like, and make her that way. Because, you know, she has a lot of repressed trauma and shit because of this evil bitch. Also, if you're like, hey, how did two dark-skinned, brown-eyed people make a light-skinned, green-eyed child? It's possible. It's rare, but I am gonna say it. My grandmother was also a whore. Let's get into it. Okay, let's bring up my aunt. And if you see this, hi, TT, I love you. God bless. Stop asking me to come over for Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna do it. But, you know, I still hope your family is doing well. Let's go. Fuck it. Hello. Fuck, I'm drunk. How am I gonna draw TT? Fuck. Alright. This is not how she looks. Let's draw some braids. Yeah, she knows how to work the braids. Fuck me. Sorry, not fuck me. I'm saying fuck me because I'm very drunk and I don't know how to draw. How do I draw my aunt? Crap. Let's use this color crayon. Yeah. Actually, that looks actually pretty accurate. Fuck yeah. I'm a much better artist than this. God. So, this is something my mom told me. Allegedly, once when my Aunt TT, who is the sister of my mother, my grandmother, she always cheated on my fucking granddad. That was just her thing. Niggas and women. That was her thing. So eventually she was like, you know what? I guess, and when she was really deep in her crack era, in her meth era, my aunt allegedly sadly had to watch my grandmother suck dick for crack. And it's like, that's traumatizing, because I'm pretty sure my aunt was extremely little, like 4 or 7, something like that. And I'm sorry for, like, that's sorry. And if you're like, if you see this, I'm sorry. But also, like, fuck my grandmother. She sucks. Burn in hell. She knows there's a place in hell waiting for her. That's why she lives life every day like she doesn't, because she already knows all her actions have already guaranteed her a slot in hell. She has given up on her redemption arc. Oh, let's talk about some fun shit. Alright, fuck it, because I feel like it. Let's talk about the third hidden sibling that my mom told me about. So my mom had an older brother. Yeah, I don't know much about him. God bless him. Let's make up a fake name for anonymity sake. And when I add the red eyes, it's nothing personal. That's just the crayon, I feel like. What should I call him? Let's call him Richard. So, Richard sold drugs, which makes sense. It's like, it's the 80s. It's a very rough time. 80s or 90s or whatever the fuck. You gotta do what you gotta do. My mom was like in her teens, like 15 or so at the time. And my uncle Richard, who I have never met, but who seems relatively friendly. Let's just say, from the way my mom describes it, there was some sort of like turf war from a very big family that I don't want to say the name of. There's not much to say, but this is one of the most interesting stories I've heard. Let's say the McCulkin family. That's a fun one. So let's just say for him, he sold drugs because he needed to survive and feed himself and his family. At least from what I heard. I don't know much about the situation, so don't beat my ass. But let's just say a very powerful family in my area called the McCulkin family, I guess, was like, hey, we don't like this little young nigga trying to take up our blocks. And next thing you know, a drug war kind of game came out, and then my uncle was allegedly put in a situation where it was like, you need to kill some niggas before they come kill you. And so let's just say bullets have to spray, and then let's just say he has been in jail until May, like, mind you, it was like the 80s or 90s or something. He only just got out like maybe last year or 2 years ago. So he spent several decades of his life stuck in jail because he sadly had to kill and spray down some teenage drug dealers just like him, because it was like eat or be eaten. I almost wrote him a letter at some point. It never got sent, but there's a lot of backstory to that. But I hope he's doing well. God bless you, and I'm sorry for saying your business, which is why I'm using fake names. Shout out to Richard. Hope you're doing well. Sorry we have never met. Sorry we probably will never meet, but God bless you. Let's see, anything else I want to say? Fuck, yeah, there's definitely more to say. I haven't even gotten to the mess of this side yet. Let's talk about my dad's side in a second. But just so you know, yeah, my grandmother's the devil, and the way my mom describes it is that everybody back in the 70s and 80s, they were doing coke and all this other fun shit, and they wanted to party. It was normal. It's like you work hard for 5 days, and on the weekend you turn up really hard. But my grandmother was like, fuck that, I want to turn up every day. And my granddad was like, no. She was like, yes. He was like, no. She was like, yes, and do it with me. And then they both became addicts. And yeah, she always cheated on him, and that shit always just, what the fuck. That pisses me off so much. Like, I don't know, just because I think my papa is a pretty good person. And maybe, I don't know, if he has done anything wrong, we don't hear about it, because my grandmother has honestly done a lot worse. She's the type of person where she brags about, like, terrible shit she saw growing up. Like, she would just come up to you and be like, hey, did you know that back in my day, we had a gay rapist on the prowl, and he would target church boys, and then he would corner them at night with a knife, and then he'd be like, you're either gonna put blood on my knife or shit on my dick. And that's his slogan phrase before he would rape someone. And she would say that shit with a smile and laugh her ass off. She was extremely weird. She's the type of person where if she sees a kid say anything sassy, she wants to beat the shit out of it. She's just not a good person, and I will never forgive her for the sins she did to my mother, because those sins passed on to me and my other siblings. Do I want to talk about my other siblings real quick? There's not much to say. And I know you're like, to me, how many siblings do you have? Technically none, because I'm estranged, but I do, but, you know, if you wanted to get real biological with it, let's just say my mom popped out a lot of babies. So, first baby, my oldest brother. The evil fucking, let's go. Alright, that's the face he gets. Why not? Why not? Alright, and then let's give him green eyes because she passed on that evil ass gene. Evil gene. That actually kind of looks like him. Alright, so that's him. I'm sorry. Let me at least outline his face. Oh, why did I... I'm so sorry. What name do we give him? I don't fucking know. Let's just say that's him. So what happened was, at some point when my mom was like 18 or so, she was dating this guy she really liked. I don't know his name. We could call him Alfonso, because fuck it, that's a sexy 90s name. And Alfonso cheated on her, but loved her, and she was like, you know what, fuck him. I'm gonna have a hot girl summer, and I'm gonna meet with this one. And so, you know, she was 18 at the time. She was like, I'm gonna go to the club and party and turn up. And then she met some Mexican nigga named Philip. Philip is a slut and a whore, and we hate Philip. Just so you know, for foreshadowing, Philip is so disgusting that I don't even care how he looks like, because he should kill himself. So, let's just say my mom had sex with Philip. I don't know if it was condomed or not, because she didn't ever, I don't think she ever told me. And I don't even give a shit. I don't think Plan B existed back in the day. I don't know, and if you're like, Tamia, why would you know if your siblings were conceived through condom or not? Because I know I was conceived through condom and somehow made it out. Amen. God bless, I'm a trooper. Strongest sperm. Hell yeah. We dealing with the consequences. So yeah. So let's just say Philip was like damn near 30. She was 18. Had a fling. Sadly, the fling resulted in a pregnancy, and she decided, you know what, I'm 18, almost 19. I need to be a big girl and take responsibility for my decisions. You want to know what happened? She took responsibility, and I remember the way she told me that when she was 19 and about to give birth, she was so scared she didn't know what to do. Kind of like a scared cat would. She just kind of left the hospital bed and crawled into like a dark, like just around the corner into a dark corner of the hospital and hid. She hid as if she was going to be able to physically hide from her own pregnancy that was going to spawn between her legs no matter where she was. And she hid in the hospital because she was still a scared teenage girl. And it breaks my heart to picture my mom as a scared teenage girl hiding because she naively thinks she can hide from the reality that's about to become of her. But the nurse found her because the nurse was like, where the fuck is she? And then they found her in the hallway of the hospital. They saw like the littlest bit of her nightgown sticking out, and then they found her and they were like, hey, you need to come back with us. So she begrudgingly came back to the hotel room and popped out my oldest brother. Anything about him worth mentioning? Allegedly he was I think he was just not a clingy child. He was one of those children that when he was born, he just wanted to run around all the time. Very adorable baby, very full head of hair. Blessed kid. Very cute. God bless. Let's see. Time went on. You know, my mom co-parented with the alcoholic asshole bastard Philip. Oh, he's a slut, and I have more to say about him, but we won't talk about it now. Eventually, let's just say my mother was on some sort of family trip, I guess, to visit Philip's family. And let's just say she thought she locked the hotel door, and she's pretty sure it was locked. And she didn't even drink that evening. I recall she didn't drink that evening. I think that's what she told me. She went to bed, she laid my brother down in a specific part of, I think she was sleeping next to him, and she went to sleep. But when she woke up, Philip was in bed next to her. Somehow he broke in. Maybe he even drugged her. And she was wet between her legs, and she was sore a little bit, but mainly wet between her legs. And she woke up and she started rightfully beating the shit out of her creepy ass, this rapist ass nigga. And then he was like, no, you let me in. You fucked me with your consent. She was like, I would never do that. Fuck you. And she lost her mind and started beating that nigga. And plus, she knew that he specifically raped her while she was asleep because my older brother was moved from the specific place. Like, she was sleeping next to him, if I recall correctly. And the baby, and he was like a baby. So he was moved to a separate part of the bedroom. So anyway, she was traumatized from that and she was sexually assaulted and she almost got an abortion. But then when she was at the abortion clinic, the nurse, there's like a speaker they use to find the fetus's heartbeat in the hotel room. And let's just say the nurse accidentally turned it all the way up. So my mom just heard bum, 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 bum. And then the nurse turned it down and was like, oh, I'm so sorry. That was an accident. That wasn't supposed to happen. And my mom was like, let me go. Fuck. And my mom felt hella guilty. So, and she thought, I can't kill a human life. I have to have a kid. So that is how my other sibling was born. I don't like to call her a sister. I don't like, ew. Let's just say other sibling was born. There was nothing sisterly to say. Disgusting. Oh, and she also had green eyes. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking drunk. Jesus Christ. But she had green eyes. Disgusting. And my sister was born. If you're wondering how the dynamic was like amongst my siblings, let's just say older brother took on the responsibilities a man would take on the household, taking out the garbage, doing the messy shit. There was always beef between me and my sister, and that is a long story. Let's just say my mom, with her evil ass, always shows favoritism. So one second it could be like, Tamia's the favorite because she's beautiful and she's brown like her daddy, and she's like my human black card because people don't think I'm black because I'm pale with green eyes, and she's dark as fuck like her daddy. She's like a little chocolate colored baby. Hell yeah. Fuck these Mexican children. I forgot to mention he's Mexican. I love my little black baby, and she's so cute and so lovely. And then I was a tomboy, and then she was like, fuck that. Okay, forgotten second child, who I fucking hate. You're my favorite because you're feminine. And then when my sister started acting up in middle school, my mom was like, okay, fuck that. Tamia, do you want to be the favorite again? And she just kept switching. It was very weird. Very weird. She would just be like, okay, the golden child of the year vote goes to Timothy. Or she would just switch it up. She's so fucking strange. Bitch, don't do that because that's why she's so fucked up. And, like, luckily, I vetoed out of it. I remember at some point my mother, during one of our private conversations, she confided in me that my sister was getting cheated on by her lesbian partner. And, like, it's been 4 years. I can talk. Fuck it. Fuck these people. Fuck these people. But yeah, my sister was getting cheated on by the lesbian bitch she was with. Also, there's an interesting backstory to when my sister came out, but I won't talk about it. Let's just say, and I guess my sister at some point got to her. You know, cheating is fucked up. I don't like it. And I guess she thought to herself that she could get a boob job. And my mom was like, yeah, she wants a boob job because she just, you know, you've always had that rivalry between you two where you try to outdo each other. And, like, yeah, she wants to have titties that are as big as yours because she doesn't think she's as attractive without it. I was like, what the fuck do you mean a rivalry? She was like, you've never wanted to be your sister? I was like, no, we have entirely different lifestyles. Like, I hang out with the special ed kids and turn up. She has her everyone else. Like, good for her, honestly. I'm happy for her. The only thing maybe is that she was able to get like 6 prom dates in 1 year and go to like hella different proms from schools, which, by the way, fucking excellent. Goddamn. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I always loved that. I was like, no, but I've never wanted to be her. I'm perfectly content with my skin color and my hair color and my body. And my mom was like, oh, your sister fucking has always, and then I guess she just confided in me at some point. She was like, your sister has always been jealous because you have a dad. Like, mind you, Philip was never around for these two. He was just some alcoholic rapist under a bridge, homeless and an asshole. It was very, like, you know, so and I always felt bad for my sister in that regard because my sister only had my mom. And my mom was also an evil fucking bitch, just like her fucking mom. Like a diluted version of evil, but still evil. Oh, I forgot to mention this. At some point, when my mom was 4 years old, my grandmother pulled a gun on her for no fucking reason, that she was strung out on, like, crack or meth or whatever. She pulls a gun on my 4-year-old mother and then says, you ain't shit, and you ain't never gonna be shit, just like I ain't shit. And the only reason my mother didn't get shot in her fucking face is because my grandmother passed out from drugs. We should kill this bitch. I hate her. She's a whore. She's a slut. She's a skank. We should kill her. I want her to get Ides of March, Julius Caesar level treatment. Stab her. Stab her to death. Anyway. Like, that fucked up my mom for the rest of her life. So now any abuse, like, she did to all of us, sexually, physically, or emotionally, she just writes off. Because it's like, yeah, it wasn't as bad as that, bitch. It's like, yeah, but you were still stripping us naked and beating the shit out of us for hours. You want, like, come on now. Anyway. But yeah, she was like, yeah, your sister wants to get a boob job. And I was like, she shouldn't get a boob job. Or if she wants to, cool. But I just hope she doesn't, because people can get skeletal fibrosis in their titties. Like, you know, like the mom from Mean Girls. Like, your titties can turn skeletal. It's not fun. And I guess my mom just kind of confessed that my sister was allegedly jealous because I had a dad. Mind you, my dad's a piece of shit. Fuck this nigga, lame ass. But, you know, sometimes he would come through with a little Hello Kitty Best Buy Blu-ray disc. Or like a random ass birthday gift. Or something like that. And even then, I was able to escape through my dad's side of the family whenever my mom was being too abusive. And we will talk about that in a second. And I get it, because my sister probably came out the way she is, psychotic as fuck, and basically like a evil little Mexican clone of my mother, because she only had my mother. So if she was being abused or tormented and all that, like, you know, it's like the only parent you got. You only seek their validation. For me, well, I don't know. I guess I'll note out this difference. The difference is, when I was a young age, I was getting most of the praise, and I think my sister was getting most of the hate for my mother. And then later on in life, it switched. So I think for me, it came out like, oh, this woman said I was the best thing to exist in sliced bread, and now is trying to switch up on me. Maybe this girl's a bitch. Either way, I have extremely high confidence that she can never break. And then for my sister, I think it was the opposite, where it's like, oh, hey, this is my only parent, and she says I'm worthless, but hey, now she's giving me a chance to be good, and I can finally top against my sister, so now my sister is competition, always in my mind, and my mother is the best thing ever, and as long as I do what my mother wants, I am the best thing ever, and I think that's sad. I think it's always sad. I actually have a video I made about my sister, like, that's like an hour and a half long, roughly, or probably just an hour long. It just hasn't been posted yet, but yeah. It's so, my mom's a fucking fucked up bitch, like, but I get why she came out that way. It's just so sad. Like, Jesus. And also, if you're like, why don't you talk more about your brother? I guess I could slide in something. What about him can I mention? Almost showed my pussy, I'm sorry. Oh, when my mom was pregnant with me and living in a specific apartment building that I still remember to this day. Some ratchet bitches, I guess, who thought like my mom was trying to steal their man. Like, let's just say my mom is a very attractive woman. She moved into an apartment building, and she's a classy woman. She's eloquent, very pretty, very attractive, big titties. And it's like, so some nigga saw her moving in and was like, here, let me help you with your mail, let me help you with your packages. But that nigga already had a girlfriend who was just some ratchet ass bitch. So then let's just say the ratchet ass bitch got a friend and they tried to intimidate my mom, and next thing you know, when my older brother was a child, like 2 maybe 4 years old, he had to witness 2 ugly ass busted ass bitches try to whoop my mom's ass even though she's clearly pregnant. And I think she fell down the stairs, and it's like, mind you, she's pregnant with me. She's pregnant. Why are you whooping a pregnant woman's ass who doesn't want your nigga? Anyway, and I remember my mom confided it to me later in life that the only time my older brother has ever been homicidal and wanted to fully fucking kill someone was in that exact instance and moment. Because mind you, that it was like an older woman. Like my mom was like what, 20, 21 or something when she had me. So it's like you're in your 40s beating up a young bitch for what? Or maybe even older, and it was sad. And it fucked him up for the rest of his life, I think. But, aside from that, I don't know too much about their relationship. I don't remember much. He was a bitch ass nigga. Fuck it. Do I want to... Okay, let's spill some tea. I won't talk too much traumatic shit between me and my older brother. Let's rip off the band-aid, though. Definitely something that I think affected things was that at some point when I was young... I remember when I was young and naive about, like, gender roles and norms and stuff, I was playing basketball. And I won like too many shots in a row, and I got confident, and I pulled down my pants to show a little bit of my crack, and I said, yeah, I forget what I said. I said like, kiss my ass or something. So it's like 2 things of like, oh look, a young girl showing her body. But mind you, I didn't understand the concept of gender at the time. I was like 8, 9, something like that. I was probably like 7 now that I think about it. And also I swore. And my mom decided, okay, I'm gonna beat the shit out of my daughter Tamir for like 8 fucking hours, probably more, closer to 12 hours in the fucking showers, and fucking torture her using hot water, freezing cold water, beat the shit out of her anytime I feel mad about it. And then at some point she brought in my older brother, and she was like, and she forced him to stare at me naked and said, is this what you want? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Male attention? Do you like, oh, you don't want to be seen naked? You don't want to be seen naked? And like my older brother had to look at me naked, and that was disgusting. I wonder what it did to his psyche. I won't talk too much about it because otherwise I'm going to start crying and I'm going to kill myself, and we don't want that to happen. So let's just say weird dynamic. Anything else worth saying? I don't want to talk about what happened when I was in middle school going to high school. What else can I say about this nigga? There's not much to say. There's not much to say other than we used to be extremely close as kids. Like, he used to adore. I was his favorite little sister, which is fucked up. It's like, nigga, you have the sister you've been with your whole fucking life, and you're like, look at the adorable one. She's so cute, big old eyes. It's like, and he was like, fuck this little bitch next to me. What the fuck? I feel bad for my sister, ex-sister, because we are estranged. I was gonna tell a story relating to me and him, but I don't remember. Let's just say I think I'm not in the mood to say it today. But, I don't know, he just was an asshole. Yeah, not much to say. At some point, he just became an annoying, like... Oh, I remember. Yeah, so there was this bitch named Amayasa. Ratchet ass name. He was cheating on his girlfriend at the time. This Indian girl named Harvier, or whatever the fuck her name was. I don't care. She was a bitch. She was a sweet... Harvier was a sweet girl. Sweet Indian girl who loved him. He was a narcissistic light-skinned nigga, so of course he was gonna cheat, because he figured that she would stay. So I remember once I came home from high school one day, and I walk in the kitchen, and I see, like, him and some short woman with, like, jet black hair, and a fat ass, and I assume, oh, that's Harvier. So I say, hey, brother, hey, Harvier. Guess what happens? This ratchet bitch named Amayasa turns around, and she's like, I know she just didn't. And I'm like, oh. And I naively assumed that it was just like a friend. I didn't see that it was an entirely different person. Like, but this bitch told on herself because she got really, really, really fucking angry. And so did my brother because they assumed I was just like starting shit or talking shit. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were her. I didn't mean to be sad. But you know, and then this asshole, this is one of the defining moments of when I fully stopped. Sorry.